Hello YouTube. Let's do a video of how I got a ham radio into my Jeep XJ. This is a 2001 Jeep Cherokee XJ Limited. And I'll start up here with the engine. And ham radio, you really should run your power right directly from the battery so that you don't introduce any noise and stuff from the rest of the electrical system. And the wire is provided, but unfortunately I had to cut the wire to get it through the firewall. So what I did was from the battery, went all the way, followed some of the wiring harness, tie strapped it, followed another wiring harness down to a grommet that goes through the firewall. You can see it right there. I punched a hole through the grommet there on the bottom and ran it through on the inside underneath. Can't really see it here, I don't think. Well, maybe you can. There's probably a red and white, yeah, there it is. Red and black wire go along the kick panel here, and went underneath the sill plate. I shouldn't say the sill plate, I guess the interior trim all the way back. Through this interior trim all the way up the wheel well on the inside, and exited. I'll show you, I guess you can kind of see it here. Exited, there's the red and white wire there. I mean red and black, what in the world am I saying white? Anyway, red and black wire, and then I put a pair of Anderson power poles. I'm going to open up the back and show you how I got the radio mounted in. I'll come back to the antenna after a bit here. So anyway, here comes the wire out of the quarter panel area. There is a spare tire holder back here. I took the mount off of here because I have large tires. I can't get a large 32-inch tire in the back here. So I decided to sacrifice my area for the spare tire, and I'll probably get a rear bumper that will have a spare tire carrier on it. So what I did was I made a bracket to mount to that particular spot, and then also you can see underneath here there's a mount there. I also used one of the screws there for grounding the chassis on both the radio and the tuner. The radio is a ICOM 7100, and it's got a separate control head, and the tuner here is a LDG IT 100 tuner. Works great. You can tune it from the control head. I know they have a tune button here, but you can control it from the control head. And did all the necessary connections. This particular radio does both HF, which is high frequency, and then UHF, VHF, UHF. So there's three different bands that you can actually use this radio for. Quite a few bands, in fact. But anyway, to get the antenna, and I got a roof mount, mag mount for my VHF UHF. I need to run this particular wire and maybe a little bit nicer spot here. I'm going to try and see if I can't get some 3M or some 3M adhesive clips or something to put on the inside of the quarter panel here to get this mounted. But I had to buy a bracket for this radio. The radio, I don't get it. Why ICOM is really chintzy on brackets. Yaesu, I could have bought a Yaesu radio, and I think I could have gotten the bracket with it. Stinking bracket for this thing, which I could have made, but then again, I thought about the time it would take me to make it. Holes are drilled correctly. It comes with the mounting screws and stuff, the correct length ones. So I decided that the stinking $36 to buy that, thank you ICOM, was probably worth it to get it. But to be honest with you, ICOM should have quit ranting. Anyway, I bought a tuner to go with it because the salesperson that recommended that you probably should get a tuner with the this type of a system because of the amount of bandwidth the antennas can handle isn't so great, and maybe on 20 meters I could have gotten by, but on 40 and 75 meters not probably so well. So that's why I bought a tuner for it. So that's pretty much the inside back portion of this. It worked out pretty well. I had a vise, and I have a torch, but I didn't want to drag it out in my messy shop, so I ended up using a smaller propane torch to heat that up and get that bend in there. So that was probably the hardest part of this whole deal, is making that bracket. Worked out, I think it turned out pretty well. Now, if you look at where the wire goes, it goes up past the weather strip here. There's a little clip right there that holds the wire in that was supplied by the antenna. I had placed one in the wrong spot, so I wasted one clip. But anyway, here's the actual mount for the antenna. Here, I'll shut the door here so that you can see it. Here's the mount. It's a Diamond K400, they call it. The actual ham antennas come from Shark Shark Manufacturing, I think that's what it's called, or Shark Distributing or something like that. But anyway, this particular one is a 20 meter antenna, and I have a 40 and a 75, and I've tried all of them. So this antenna here is for my VHF UHF portion of the radio, and that is just a mag mount. I could have done maybe a mount like this one also, but decided that this was probably the cheapest way to go. And that is a Diamond, I believe. Yeah, Diamond M77, I think. That's been a good antenna. I've used it on my pickup, and I've got one on my pickup also. So here comes maybe the ugly part of it. I kind of plan on using this radio as a portable unit too for a while, and so I didn't run the control wire under the carpet or anything like that, because I really would like to be able to get a hold of that. So I ran it underneath the seat from the corner over here all the way up to the front. And here's the actual control head of the 7100. I won't go into the radio so much, but this is just pretty much how I mounted it. One thing I do have to add is I probably will mount some sort of a hook over here for my microphone. ICOM microphones aren't very fancy as far as the hooking department, and that's fine with me. Just hang it on a screw. Actually, I could probably just put a screw in here and then hang it on there, but I think a hook would probably be a little bit not as quite as bad. But what I did with this is I used it in I got a couple of 2-inch caps PVC caps, and then about a 13-inch section of 2-inch PVC pipe. Did not glue it. It holds just fine. And then the bottom of this control head is like a photo or a camera mount, tripod mount, hole, the 1/4 20, I believe it is, threads. And I just threaded a bolt up from the bottom. I didn't have a short enough bolt, so I had added a nut to the bolt so it wouldn't go too far into the radio control head. So I tightened that up, and whenever I need to move this or whatever. Why is it so high? Well, I looked at where the gear shift lever is and reaching for the gear shift lever, visually seeing the things on the dash and everything. The control head is mounted in a really, I feel, nice position. Once the car is in gear, my arm is a lot lower to shift it, but when I get back up into park, my arm does come up pretty much to the bottom of this control head on here. So I'll just turn it on just to show you it works.
In a manner that is pleasing.
So anyway, there we go. The net, there's a net I go on daily, and it's fun to answer back to them. They have like about 6 sessions a day, and I usually call each session if I have a chance. But anyway, this also does have, like I said, it also does have VHF, and it does have UHF. Push the, there we do have UHF. So anyway, go back to 20 meter here, and that's what I have. That's why I have to have different antennas. Oops, sorry for the fingers. That's why you have to have different antennas. So, or else I could buy an expensive $500 screwdriver antenna that I could control from inside the car. But I don't think that lazy, so I can just go out, unscrew the antenna, and put another one in. Apparently there are quick attach devices where you can, that fit in between the antenna here and the base of the mount. This is part of the mount, and that is where the power goes to the antenna, and then there's also a ground here for the it's a little tiny coax. It's really kind of a cute little coax. I forget what RG that is or whatever it is. I'm not sure, LMR or something or another. But and the mount was really easy. It just had a bunch of Allen screws that it's a little lip. You could put this on a trunk. You can mount it any possible way you can mount it, and it is pretty slick. One of the things you got to go through first with the mount is level this part out here, and then once you get that leveled out, then you can level your antenna post up. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just thought I'd share how I got this thing mounted in. I probably will paint that post. I know it's kind of ugly, but hey, you know, I tell you what, you can get ram mounts and stuff like that that are gonna run you maybe $150 to $200, all said when you get all the accessories on it. I figured my $6 worth of PVC pipe and ends maybe is a pretty good deal, and I'll probably just throw some paint on it, or maybe some camouflage or design duct tape or something like that. Duct tape. Well, yeah, have a great day. Oh yeah, my antennas, I got 2 more. So that's for 40 and 80 or 75, 80 meters. Actually, there's 75 meters, that one is. And thoughts on that are to probably suspend a piece of PVC pipe on the roof here and put caps on it, and then probably put a screw cap in the back and then keep them up on top of the roof. Or else spend the $500 and get myself a screwdriver antenna. But I think I'll save the $500. Well, hey, thanks for watching. I hope this maybe helps you. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments. Please like and subscribe. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.